Hey, what's up, everyone? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be cooking a steak quesadilla, which is loosely similar to the popular Chipotle steak quesadilla. I don't know if you recall, but a while back, we tackled the chicken burrito from Chipotle and knocked that one out of the park. So I thought, might as well try out doing their steak quesadilla. Why not? So, I got a lot going on today. I think you're going to like this. Let's get started.
Alright, we're going to make our own flour tortillas, which is actually not as difficult as you might think it is. All you need are flour, warm water, salt, and butter. That's all there is to it. Alright, to a mixing bowl, we're going in with 2 cups of flour, with a teaspoon of kosher salt, and finally 4 tablespoons of unsalted softened butter. Make sure it's been sitting out. Give that a mix. Alright, so we're just going to attach our dough hook. And we have 3/4 of a cup of warm water at the ready at about 115 degrees. And we're just going to gradually add that into the mixture as it's blending. Alright, we've taken it out of the stand mixer. We're just going to continue to roll it. Alright, you see our dough is nice and softened. We're just going to plop that back into the bowl and let it rest for about 20 minutes. Alright, now we're going to put together that Chipotle vinaigrette everyone knows about. So we're going to mix in 1/3 of a cup of red wine vinegar, 3/4 cup of olive oil, 2 chipotle peppers with some adobo sauce, 4 tablespoons of honey, a tablespoon of garlic paste, a teaspoon of oregano, and some salt and pepper to taste. And we're just going to blend that up. And that's how we're looking with our Chipotle vinaigrette. Let's give it a quick taste. Perfect. Alright, we're just going to set this aside in the fridge and we'll come back to it later. Alright, we're just going to roll out each tortilla. Okay, next we're going to cook our tortillas. So I have a comal down over medium heat. We're just going to add some avocado oil. Alright, we're just going to place our tortillas in this tortilla holder. You want to make sure they stay warm. Nothing worse than a dry tortilla. So we'll just set this aside and come back to it. Okay, we're going to prep our veggies. I have 2 bell peppers and an onion. So we're just going to give those a nice slice. Okay, let's turn our attention to the seasoning for our steak. I have about a teaspoon of Chipotle chili powder, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, and about 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. So All right, we have our steak ready. We've let it come up to room temperature. I'm using about a pound of sirloin tip. So all I'm going to do now is apply our seasoning. Make sure we get both sides. All right, now we're going to get to searing our steak. So I have a cast iron heated to medium-high heat. I'm going to go in with some of this Wagyu beef tallow, but you could just use a neutral flavored oil. That'll work just fine. I just really love using this stuff, to be honest. I'm going to set our steaks aside and let them rest. Alright, we're going to add some more oil and we'll start sauteing our veggies. Alright, in with our veggies. We're going to season our veggies with some salt and pepper. Alright, now it's time to slice up our steak. Alright, it's time to put our quesadilla together. So, got our cast iron up to medium heat. I'm going to go down with some butter. Alright, we put our tortilla down. We're going to add some Oxo cheese. Then we're going to go in with our steak. Then we're going to add our veggies. Then fold over our tortilla. And there we have our Chipotle Steak Quesadilla. I hope you give this a try, and I will see you next time.